Why be more creative at what you do? It's fun. Once you agree with me that people want to do business with, they want to work with people who seem to enjoy what they do for a living? Absolutely. So where is he?
As a matter of fact, I heard somebody say over here, I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but somebody said, if he's not any good, we could sneak out, he'll never notice. So I may just stand here and drive you all crazy if that's all right. Now,
would you like to leave here a little more creative than when you came in? All right. Want to have some fun? Oh, I know. Want to figure out a guaranteed method to triple your personal income by December and take next year off? Absolutely. In your dreams, I can't help you with that.
every time you go to look at the time, every time you realize that bracelet's on the other arm, I want you to ask yourself, what else do I do that's strictly a habit? That's all this is. If for the next 21 days or so, you consciously put your watch or bracelet on that other arm, after 21 days, it would start to feel comfortable. The things I want to share with you this morning are not going to feel comfortable. So let's start with a basic definition of creativity. Why do I think it's so important in coming up with this experience that I talk about? Most people say they're not one of the most creative people they know because we associate creativity with the fine arts, don't we? I'm not creative because I can't paint, I can't sketch, I'm just not creative. So let me ask you a question. I want this to be as interactive as we can make it. By a show of hands, how many of you truly believe you are one of the most creative people you know? Oh, there's about 8 hands up. Okay, that's a good place to start.
I truly believe everybody's creative. When were we most creative in our lives? All of us. When we were kids, right? It didn't just fall off. I mean, it's there inside every one of us. And what I talk about is how do you access that natural creativity when it comes to the customer experience? I want to tell you a story. And the story will not work without your help. Through the middle of the land is a very fast-flowing, very deep river. On one side of the river, we find our first character. Very creatively, her name is Miss A. She walks down the riverbank, and eventually she comes across Mr. D, and Mr. D is sitting. Spoke to a group of chiropractors. They complained about his posture. Mr. D, can you help me? No. She said, why not? Said, I don't want to get involved. Go away. Poor Miss A. Eventually, she comes across Mr. E's on a... It's a horse, yes. You got horse from that? That's great. And not just any horse, it's a white horse. Ooh. I was in love with Mr. B across the river, but I couldn't get across. Too fast, flowing too deep. I went to Mr. C's, got a boat. He said to kiss my wing. Kiss him. I was in love with Mr. B. Went to Mr. D. Wouldn't get involved. That Mr. C gave me a little kiss. He brought me across. Mr. B wouldn't take me anymore. What am I going to do? Oh, thank you. Mr. E looks at Miss A and says, I'll take you just the way you are. I don't care about your past. I don't care what's happened. Hop onto my white horse. We'll ride off into the sunset. She does. They do. End of story.
What's the point? What's the point? What could it possibly have to do with being more creative? I don't know, but it was fun. Just because that woman who can yell and I put Mr. E at the bottom of our list, does it mean we're wrong? Some of you will say yes. No, it's just a different what? Perspective. It's a different perspective of the exact same situation that you all saw. That's what being creative in HR today is all about. Are you willing, after all these years, to be able to say, you know what, maybe there's another perspective? Yeah, there's a great saying in sales training, and I'm not here to do sales training by any means, but I think it's so apropos to what you do every day. If you see the world through your customer's eyes, you'll see the way your customer buys. Not in selling something, but how about just managing change, on getting change through the organization. See the world through your customer's eyes and see the way your customer buys. But perspective is a scary thing. We work with somebody for years and we think we know their perspective. And one day it changes instantly. And we're sitting there saying to ourselves, whoa, what's the matter with him? Whoa, what's the matter with her? When we should be saying, whoa, what's the matter with me? Why? Because if I'm constantly checking in with you to see what is it that will increase the value specific to you at any given moment, I'm never surprised that your perspective has changed. And perspective can change instantly, depending on what's going on in their personal lives. What happened in the car from home to work this morning can change their perspective.
Would you take my beans, please, Rachel? 2 hands. Great. You represent my McDonald's, Rachel. How much do you charge me for supersized coffee at McDonald's? Do you know? $1, I think. Give them back. Because then I did my homework. The beans I'm taking from Rachel, I'm going to take over to Starbucks. I did my homework. They're a better bean. But for the entire handful, they cost about a nickel more. So wait, the beans cost a nickel more, and you're going to charge me 4 times the amount. Give them back. Because then I worked with Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts on the South Pacific island of Bali. Take my beans, please. Naomi, you represent my Four Seasons Hotel. How much did you charge me for a cup of coffee in the Four Seasons Hotel restaurant? $7.25 for a cup of coffee, and I paid it every single morning. 50 yards from the front gates of the Four Seasons Hotel Jimbaran is a McDonald's. I could have walked 50 yards and paid $1. I paid $7.25. You're not in the customer service business. You are in the customer experience business. And there's a huge difference. You pay lip service to this, but I don't think you understand. It's not just the experience of the event. That's one part of the experience. What I'm talking about, customer service is what you do every day, and it's wonderful. It's from the heart. How do I help you? What can I do for you? Customer experience is stepping back and saying, what is the experience my customer has from the minute they make contact with our organization till the minute they're done. Once you make the leap to start thinking about customer experience, we end up with a loyal external customer and an engaged internal customer. I can't tell you how many people in Pittsburgh I've told to go to that restaurant. It truly was fantastic. And then I finished with one word, but your car will take 2 hours to arrive after dinner. See, it gets longer the more I tell the story, right? But here's the thing. I found the title of my new book. I don't even know what it's about, but I found the title. What comes after the but? Because the minute we start asking that, and everyone in our organization asks it, we've become 100% customer focused. So I'm encouraging you to go back, ask everybody at every level in your organization, what comes after the but? There are some brands out there who have done an amazing job at this. Think about it. Southwest Airlines, Lexus. How about Harley-Davidson? I don't ride, but in the last 15 years or so, they've done an amazing job of engaging their customer by engaging their employees. And those touch points are what I want you to go back and focus on in your organizations. See, what if we just considered every touch point in our organization? What is that? It's the opportunity to touch the customer. The opportunity we have to affect the customer, the patient, the student experience. What do I mean? Here's a case history. Shadow Milk Company out of Missouri, gets their people together, 130 employees, and they start talking about touch points. What are the touch points that we have? And then they prioritize them, and their number one touch point that they found were their drivers. Now, if you can imagine, these people deliver milk, and they've done an amazing job. On the back of every milk company truck, it now says this: in case of accident, please have cookies ready. Lots and lots and lots of cookies. Imagine if we examined all the touch points in our organization and tweaked them just a little. See that line, coloring outside the lines is scary business? It's the first line of a poem. I'm going to share it with you right now and the story behind it very quickly. But the bottom line is we have to take a risk if we're going to think differently about our customer experience. Coloring outside the lines is scary business. Some days I don't have the courage for it at all. And it'd be nice to have a friend who colored outside the lines sometimes too. Would you? Will you? Absolutely. It's been my privilege. Thank you so much.